I was never a real Muslim. I was never a practicing Muslim. I'm a fake ex-Muslim. You cannot trust anything ever that comes out of my mouth, and you cannot trust any of the arguments that I make against Islam. I'm now a Muslim. I have no idea. Hello everybody and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. The time has come for the truth. So recently, Ali Dawa challenged me to recite a chapter from the Quran. He planned on exposing that I cannot indeed recite something from the Quran. And if I can't recite something very simple from the Quran, that then means that I was never a real Muslim, that I was never a practicing Muslim, that I'm a fake ex-Muslim. And if it turns out that I'm a fake ex-Muslim, then that means that you cannot trust anything ever that comes out of my mouth, and you cannot trust any of the arguments that I make against Islam. So what I want to do now is to do my best to prove to everybody that I can still recite some Quran verses and Quran chapters. And I also want to talk a little bit about what kind of a Muslim I was and where I come from, just so that everyone can feel at ease and be sure that I was indeed a Muslim in the past. People who personally know me would find this whole thing ridiculous. I grew up as a Turkish Muslim in a Sunni Muslim household, was surrounded by Sunni Muslims. I was a Sunni Muslim belonging to the Hanafi mazhab. Sunni Islam has 4 accepted branches of law or schools of law, and one of them is Hanafi, which is very dominant among the Turkish Muslim population. When it comes to theology, I learned in my Muslim youth that we only accept 2 schools of theology as valid, and those are the Maturidi school and the Ash'ari school. My part of Muslims, we belong to the Maturidi theology, although this is not something that we really talk about. We only learn that that is what we follow. That's our creed. It's called the Aqidah. That's what we follow. The theological understanding of Islam is that, but we don't really learn very much stuff about this. The average population has no idea about all that stuff. There were times that I was not very religious. There were times that I was extremely religious and practiced my religion very thoroughly and studied it very much, read books day and night, tried to do all the practices and all the extra practices that I could do, did all my prayers. My family within this Islamic creed and school of law was close to mysticist Sufi movements. They were actually part of a Sufi movement. I was not for most of my life, but at a certain point in my life, I was part of that as well, until I later realized that that is not really very much reconcilable with traditional Islam. And I left Sufism before I left Islam. But due to this Sufi influence, this mystical influence, my family had my family taught me certain things that differ from the traditionalists very much. For example, the traditionalists will say that Allah is up there. He's above us. He's above the heavens. We did not learn that. I was explicitly taught from childhood that I am not supposed to say that Allah is above, or, above us or outside of us. I was supposed to learn that Allah is everywhere. The more extreme form of this within Sufism, for example, is that Allah is within everything. It's a little bit strange. It goes very much into a heretical way of thinking and goes close to some kind of pantheism almost. But these are ideas that are quite common among many Muslim populations, and these are merely theological differences on the nature of Allah. In terms of studying and following certain scholars, I was personally very interested in studying the books of Imam Ghazali. My favorite book when I was a religious Muslim was a very short book from Imam Ghazali, which was named The Alchemy of Happiness? The Elixir of Happiness? I don't know, something like that. Wait, let me cheat quickly. It's Alchemy of Happiness. In German, it's known as Elixir der Glückseligkeit. I read it in German back then. I was very interested in Imam Ghazali. He is of a different theological and jurisprudential understanding, but still very much respected among Turkish Muslims, among the Turkish population. And I was really very much impressed by his writings and by the way he thought. A few years ago, I actually tried to read that book again, and I thought, man, it's just it's a terrible book. Maybe I should talk about that in detail sometime. I was interested in reading books of the Maturidi school of theology, and one scholar whose book I read through so much and absorbed so carefully was the book of a scholar from Turkey named Ahmed Ziauddin Gümüşhanevi, or Ahmed Ziauddin from Gümüşhane, which is in Turkey. Apart from that, we had our own collection of Islamic morals and Islamic jurisprudence, books that compile teachings and writings from earlier Hanafi scholars, beginning with Imam Abu Hanifa, who is considered the founder of the Hanafi school, and people who follow him. The Mukhtasar al-Quduri, which is a book that is very prominent within the Hanafi branch, is also something that we would appeal to and look at. As a Turkish Muslim, my pronunciation of things was not always great. Turkish Muslims generally are not good at pronouncing Islamic words in a good way. In fact, Turkish Muslims often have their own words for certain things that Muslims all around the world use. For example, the ablution, the ritual washing which you do before you pray, wudu. If you ask the Arabic speakers, for them it's completely normal that everybody understands what wudu is. But if you go to Turkey and you ask Turkish Muslims, religious Turkish Muslims, what wudu is, they will say, "What? I have no idea. Speak Turkish, please." Because Turks have their own words for that. In Turkish, for example, that is known as abdest, which is, I would guess it's from Persian, maybe it's from Arabic too, I don't know. Maybe it's of Turkish origin itself, I don't know. But just like that, Turks, for example, and some other Muslim populations have this culture, this tradition of using their own words instead of using Arabic words. And they also don't have a great pronunciation, a great control over the Arabic language. When I became religious and I became interested in reading and reciting the Quran accurately, it was very disappointing to me that religious teachers and imams in mosques have a very poor pronunciation of the Quran, for example, and I myself tried to do it better, although I didn't really have the time to become perfect at it. And when I recite certain Quran chapters and Quran verses, that might still be very much lacking. Anyway, long story short, I was a regular Turkish Sunni Muslim following the Hanafi mazhab. Now let's come to the challenges. Let me show you how much I can recite things. And to be very honest, I left Islam almost 10 years ago. The last time I prayed was 9 years ago, maybe, yeah. Okay, maybe it was 8 years ago. So it's entirely justifiable that in the meantime, I forgot all the things that I used to recite. Nevertheless, let me start with the one chapter that Ali Dawa asked me to recite, which is Kawthar, which is at the end of the Quran. That is the shortest. It is 3 verses long. And it goes, Inna ataynaka al-Kawthar, fasalli li rabbika wanhar, inna shanika huwa al-abtar. Not sure if I did the pronunciation correctly, but that is it. Here, take that. From the last 10 chapters, what else is there? قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدْ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدْ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. Whatever. The last two, Nas and Falak. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ مَلِيكِ النَّاسِ إِلَهِ النَّاسِ مِنْ شَرِّ الْوَسْوَاسِ الْخَنَّاسِ الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ مِنَ الْجِنَّةِ وَالنَّاسِ. V. In Turkish, for example, people often say v, but that sound doesn't really exist in Arabic. The other one is falak, which is قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ وَمِنْ شَرِّ ومن شر ما خلق ومن شر. I have no idea how it continues. غاسق إذا I don't know. I don't remember the rest. See, this is one of the easiest ones, and I forgot half of it already. What else is there? Feel. The elephant. One chapter at the end of the Quran that is about the elephants the elephants of the enemies being terrorized by birds that drop stones on them. Ridiculous story. ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل طيلا أبابيل. I don't remember the rest. See, that's also gone. Kafirun. يا أيها الكافرون. I don't even remember the rest. I only remember the beginning of it. قل يا أيها الكافرون. It's something like your religion to you, my religion to me, and my religion to me, and your religion to you. It's just what else is there? The one about Masad Abu Lahab, an enemy of Islam, an enemy of Muhammad, who is condemned to hellfire in the Quran itself. See, I don't even remember how it starts. I don't remember that at all. I don't know. One about the Quraysh. Geez, I really don't remember. I don't even remember what the others are. Wait, I don't know. The first chapter of the Quran, obviously the one that you must recite at every part of the prayer, of the 5 daily prayers, is Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. And then you say Ameen. Outside of there were certain other Quran chapters that I memorized for myself when I would pray the 5 daily prayers, just because I liked them so much. Those were just my preferences. I picked them. One of them was Surah Teen. I completely forgot how that goes. That was also one that I kind of just managed to memorize before I fell into a whole rabbit hole of doubts and stopped doing my prayers. That was with Teen was Zaytun or something like that. With Teen was Zaytun, where Turi Sin or something like that. Teen is the fruit. What's that? A fig. That chapter is called The Fig because it begins by the fig and the... No, I can't even think of the English words here. By the fig and the olive and the Mount of Sinai or something like that, and then it goes on. I personally found it very interesting, and around those times, just because of the Quran, I was interested in eating figs. Very dumb. 2 others that I memorized, one of them was... maybe that was just one, I don't know. Surah Shams, which starts with Shams something Duhaha, which is... And that is a short Quran chapter, which today I find very ridiculous because I think it is scientifically terrible. And I mention that quite often. It basically says by the sun and its light and the moon when it follows it and the night when it reveals it and the day when it the day when it reveals it and the night when it covers it and something like that, whatever. Others, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't even remember most of these. Chapter Yasin starts with, I used to know the first page of Yasin, which was Yasin wal Quran al Hakim. I don't remember the rest of that either. See, it's all gone. Ayatul Kursi, I don't remember that. It goes with no, it doesn't go with Alif Lam Mim. It goes with Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al hayyul qayyum. That's just one very big verse, which is very important, but I don't remember it either. In all honesty, I didn't think I forgot all of these. But see, it happens. But if we go away from the Quran chapters, there are certain prayers that you do during your 5 daily prayers, certain things that you say. One of them is the, in Turkish we can generally just refer to it as At-Tahiyatu, but it's called the Tashahhud. And it goes, At-Tahiyatu lillahi wa salawatu wa tayyibat, Assalamu alaykum أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. See, I even this is basically to testify once more that you are a Muslim who recognizes Allah only and who follows Muhammad. So I'm now a Muslim by having said that, and now I'm no longer a Muslim. There were 2 more things that you say during the prayers at the end, though they differ a little bit between the branches, between the madhabs, I believe. But one of them goes, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad, kama salayta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim, innaka hamidun majid. The other one goes, Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka hamidun majid. I know that, see? It's been 8 years, 9 years since I stopped practicing Islam, and 8 years since I left Islam. These are the things that I remember from the things that I was supposed to memorize. Aside from that, during my least religious times, I had the basic decency or the basic respect for my religion of at least always saying the Basmala, the Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, before I take a bite. For some reason, I learned to always stick to that, even when I was very minimally religious. And I don't know, it's kind of it's a compulsive thing. Like, I have to say it before I eat. Otherwise, the devil will intervene. What else do I remember? I remember the adhan. I remember the prayers. Here, another thing. Between branches, people count the prayers differently, but within the Hanafi madhab, we would count it. We also don't use, in Turkish, we don't use Arabic words for the prayer times, for example. So when I went outside of the Turkish population and I heard that people refer to the evening prayer as the Maghrib prayer, I thought, what is that? Because in Turkish, we just refer to these prayers by their Turkish names. So the morning prayer consists of two obligatory or two farz rakas. A rakah is a section of the prayer, and two additional ones, right, that are sunnah, that are optional, but you should do them as a good Muslim. The noon prayer, 4 optional first, so 4 sunnah, then 4 farz, and then two other sunnah after that. On Fridays, it is replaced by the Friday prayer, which extends it to 4 sunnah, 4 farz, 4 sunnah. Again, 4? No, was it different? I don't know. I forgot. Then the afternoon prayer is just 4, right? I'm not sure if I'm getting these right or maybe completely wrong. I don't know. The evening prayer is when the sun is going down, and there are times during the day where you're not supposed to pray, like when the sun is going up before noon, or during the evening prayer when there was a time that I'm not supposed to pray, but I don't know. But the evening prayer consists of 3 and 2. Geez, I don't even remember these correctly. 3 farz and 2 sunnah, and the longest is the night prayer after the sun has gone down, which is 4 sunnah, 4 obligatory farz, again 4 sunnah or 2 sunnah, I think 2, and then to that we add 3 wajib, also obligatory, with a different nature at the end of that. Then I remember that we would do prayers in Ramadan that are extremely long at night. You pray 20 rakah or something like that. I don't know. Long story short, hey, I was a Muslim, okay? You can accept me as a legitimate ex-Muslim who did practice and who naturally forgot things over time. This test doesn't mean anything. Challenging me on the spot to recite or to say things, I just take offense by that and just think, dude, stop this. So it's normal that I don't engage with those things. Don't look at whether I am really a proper ex-Muslim or not. Look at the thing that we are discussing. That's the point. Don't care about whether I'm really an ex-Muslim or not. Maybe I'm a fake ex-Muslim. Maybe, I mean, it could have been that I'm a complete fake ex-Muslim, that I was never a Muslim, that I am actually of, I don't know, some weird, strange origin. I have no idea. But that's not the point of anything that we're doing, is it? The point of our discussions should be the things that we talk about, the arguments that I make, the objections that I bring, the debates that we have, trying to find a flaw in me and my past religious behavior and history is a fallacy. It's an ad hominem fallacy, trying to find a flaw in order to discredit me and to then say, hey, look, he's not legitimate. You cannot trust him. We cannot listen to him. Thereby, everything that he has said and everything that he says from now on will be considered invalid. That's not how it works. It's stupid. Let's not focus on this. Let's focus on the stuff that we are talking about. I can find flaws in everybody. But what's the point? I was a Muslim. I am no longer a Muslim. I have talked about my reasons very lengthily. And I will keep talking about why I don't like it, why I'm against it, why I don't think I should be executed and other apostates should be executed, and so on. Thank you for listening. Have a fantastic day, and please take care and stay away from Islam.